Welcome to another Indie Dev Showcase, highlighting the many indie games we play here on the channel. If you'd like to submit a game for a future video, please reach out. But otherwise, let's begin. We are starting off this week with Verses of Enchantment. This is a deck builder that is all themed around poetry. It is 18th century and well, the pen is truly mightier than the sword, as you must use the power of prose and effective writing to defeat your enemies. How this game works is that every kind of card fits into kind of different element or emotion. As you play cards of similar emotions or different ones, it will change the poem that generates kind of procedurally at the top of the screen. Different cards will proc off of different ailments or using different combinations, and it's up to you to build the best literary deck in order to defeat your opponents. Now, the basic campaign of this one felt a little bit light. It's essentially you traveling around the map, trying to run into other characters, get into a fight, beat them, and then you'll choose a new card. I like the different take on the kind of deck building design here, but if you're hoping for kind of the levels of depth and kind of the variety of cards you would get in, say, a Slay the Spire or Monster Train or any other one, I'm not quite sure if this game has it. If you're a deck builder fan looking for a very non-violent and unique take on the design, then you should definitely give this one a try. We're going from using our words to, well, using objects and guns to settle our differences with Stopdead. One thing that's important to note is the footage you're seeing is taken from the end of 2023, and developers have promised back in May of this year that they are working on a kind of overhaul of the game, including updating the art as well. So what you see may not represent the current version of the game. In this one, we had psychokinetic powers, and we are an unstoppable force, quite literally, as if we stop, we die. So the game is all about constant movement and motion as you try to kill enemies, using anything and everything as a weapon. Now, since the demo that we played is kind of like the very first version of this game, you now actually have a health bar, so you can actually take more than one hit. However, stand still and you will die. So this kind of gets at that challenge that if you're just trying to wait around a section, you kind of have to like circle around or just keep hopping in one spot to keep your heart rate up, which is very similar to Meat Grinder that we played back in 2023. This game is going for kind of the speed run, get into the flow state style of shooting, as you are graded on how quickly, how efficiently, and how much violent you are at killing and getting through each level. There are boss fights that do mix things up, as you'll need to pay attention to them while keeping on the move and trying to find something to just smack them with. This one, I would say, is on the more challenging side, especially again with the constant movement as a focal point here. I am curious to see where this game is going to go with its overhaul, but if you are someone who likes ultra violence and looking for another very speedrun friendly shooter, then definitely give this one a try. We go to something a little bit more friendly with Garbage Crew. This is an up to 4-player kind of party multiplayer experience. It's up to you and your friends to clean up the town, quite literally, by making sure to grab all the trash cans and garbage around and giving it to the truck. The game kind of follows in that chaoticness of the truck never stops, so everyone needs to work together to grab as much trash as they can. Now, as you're probably telling by the footage, there's not really anyone else here on the field, as we didn't really have anyone to play this multiplayer-wise with. I would say, as with a lot of these kinds of party-based titles, that if you're only playing it as a solo experience, there's probably not enough meat on the bone, or I guess garbage on the in the garbage can, to make this one work. But if you and some friends are looking for another very solid co-op experience, then I would give this one a try. We switch to something a little bit more stressful with Jello. This is a physics kind of, I would say rage platformer style game. You play as, well, this Jello creature who's trying to explore multiple dimensions looking for stuff, trying not to get killed, and hopefully you not breaking your keyboard and mouse along the way. The MO of this game is that you'll pull in the direction that you want Jello to kind of extend or shoot out to. You can also grab two different kind of sticky points, which you can then do your best job swinging and trying not to fall, like I just did right there. Levels, of course, will grade you on how quickly you get through them, but ultimately this is about just getting from point A to point B and not getting stuck along the way. If you're someone who is easily frustrated, this is not going to be the game for you in the slightest. The controls can be a little bit funky in places, especially when you get some of the more advanced challenges that require you to kind of quickly draw and launch Jello in a variety of directions. But this did feel a little bit more fairer to play than some of the other Rage style games that we've seen. So if you're looking for a very bouncy platformer and don't mind a little bit of challenge along the way, then definitely give this one a try. We now go to Guardians of Holme. This is a tower defense roguelike. Your mission is to defend your kind of home base from invading enemies and keep pushing through, growing in power. The progression here is that you'll be able to acquire different cards, artifacts, and upgrade your cards, which are going to be in the form of all the different kind of tower defense goodness that we come to know and love. Sticky traps, spike traps, pushing traps, grabbers, and many more. Your job is to keep your base from being invaded, as the enemies will grow in power, and you can of course speed things up to get additional rewards. The basic gameplay here I liked, but like with a lot of the other kind of tower defense roguelike styles, it did feel like one of those titles where it was easy until it's not. And what I mean by that is because of how the enemies escalate, and again, this is a tower defense game, the second kind of you lose control over the situation, the enemies become too strong, you don't have enough traps on the field, you're done. And there's nothing more you could do at that point. You can unlock additional features, new cards / towers that can help you. I found this one to be on the charming side, but again, it still can't escape kind of the repetitive nature that we see from this particular subgenre of tower defense. If you're a fan of, again, the kind of more advanced tower defense style that we've seen, especially with the ones that let you kind of push and pull and manipulate the enemies in the field, give this one a go. But if you're not a fan of kind of like the difficulty being just more escalation of stats, rather than being able to come up with like interesting map layouts or map defenses, then I don't know if this one would quite work for you. But still, I found this one to be interesting. I'm always looking for more kind of like roguelite infusions into like tower defense design. And for the last game of today's video, we go to Reaver, a mishmash of Ultra Kill, Devil May Cry, and well, the Day of the Dead. You are going to be doing your best to kill enemies in a whole lot of environments, and doing it as quickly and effortlessly and stylishly as possible. As with some of the other chaotic shooters, you'll be running, jumping, dashing, and doing your best just to not stand still while you blow up lots and lots of enemies. The unique element that separates Reaver from some of the other shooters, beyond just the aesthetics, is that different weapons have combos that you can apply, such as being able to shoot and then charge up your pistol for like an ultimate shot, being able to power up your shotgun, dual wielding, and stuff like that. So it's not just about kind of weapon swapping and moving around, but figuring out and making use of the different combos in order to really get those stylish points up. I liked what I was seeing here. It's definitely leaning more towards kind of like the Ultra Kill or Doom Eternal, bouncing off the walls, moving, shooting, killing everything that gets in your way. Now, the footage you're seeing is taken from the demo of the game. It has been released into early access since we last played it, so what you see may not represent the current version of this one. The only issue that I had with what I was playing from the demo was that it was kind of missing like the variety of scenarios out of, say, again, like an Ultra Kill or Doom Eternal. But again, that could just be the fact that we're playing the demo and not seeing the full breadth of this one. I enjoyed Reaver quite a bit. If you are like me and you're looking for another very fast and very technical base FPS to play, definitely give this one a try. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one shakes up when it finishes early access. And with that, another showcase comes to an end. You'll find links to all the games down below. Let me know what you think about them as well. And onto your game, once again, for a future stream and showcase, please reach out. That's going to do it. So have a great rest of your day, and see everyone in the next video.